They just can't stand to see this little tree.
Fostering rehabilitation, entertainment, education, Free FM has made the dedication on behalf of this new generation. Free
I'm
FM
Janella Precious of
88.9
CPM
Television, endorsing Free FM 88.9, prison radio at its best. Free FM, they're behind bars but their minds are free. Free FM 88.9.
The herb is free. Babylon is not free. They just can't stand to see this little tree.
When you smoke your dirty coke and it turn you in a ghost, do you see me smiling with my triude in my hand? You've been carrying feelings, now you're in my garden. You and your squad is trying to cut down all my herbs, leave the trees and let them live. Lord, Lord, can't you see you're destroying the environment, boy? Leave the trees and let them live. Boy, boy, can't you see you're boring a hole in the ozone layer? Oh.
The herb is free.
Hi, this is
Babylon
Kenny, and you're
is not
listening to
free.
388.
They just can't stand to see this little tree.
Oh, yummy, yummy, yummy.
When you smoke your dirty coke and it turn you in a ghost, do you see me smiling with my triude in my hand? You've been carrying feelings, now you're in my garden.
Good morning, all our listeners. It's your boy DJ Rich. And you know what time it is. It's time for another exciting show and society interaction on 388.9 FM. Today we'll be talking a very interesting and educational topic as we do every time here on Society Interaction. And the topic today is COPE 28. So stay tuned, don't you touch that dial.
I'm just a little youth now, and don't give you my food already. Oh, you are once so rude, so steady. My everything shall come to an end. I run out them happy job in the game. In such event, you can't get direct sense. Give I back I stress. Leave the trees and let them live. Lord, Lord, can't you see you're destroying the environment? Whoa. Leave the trees and let them live. Boy, boy, can't you see you're boring a hole in the ozone layer? Oh. It's not just about smoking, it's my medicine, my food and my clothing. And for spiritual reasons, my meditation's straight and open. And it's a way of surviving. I should have banned for the suffering classes. Think of all the children
Love you like a fresh vegetable. So tell me if you love Tony Rebel. I see love is lovely. And I see love is kinda ugly. So girl, you know, you should love me, come love you, and that is true. Watch me now, love you like a fresh vegetable. So tell me if you love Tony Rebel. Me love you like a fresh vegetable. So tell me if you love Tony Rebel. Because you want you let me roll me, you want me say down love lady to and we are one go. And I love you girl, and me can't get over to, so make me tell you something when you
This is free 88.9 FM.
Fire
Yummy, yummy.
you should love me, come love you, and that is true. Watch me now, love you like a fresh vegetable. So tell me if you love Tony Rebel. Me love you like a fresh vegetable. So tell me if you love Tony Rebel. Because you want you let me roll me, you want me say down love lady to and we are one go. And I love you girl, and me can't get over to, so make me tell you something when you want to know. Love you like vegetable. So tell me if you love Tony Rebel. And I love you like a fresh vegetable. So tell me if you love Tony Rebel. Watch me now, so if it is no accident, don't say so. But if it is yes, I want you say it the best. And never forget that you will never regret.
Welcome back to Society Interaction. I'm your host, DJ Rich. And today, as every day, we always have an exciting show here on Free 88.9 FM. And for all our listeners out there, a beautiful good morning to our staff, officers here, and to all our fellow inmate brothers here. And today, you know, as I said, the topic for today is COP28. And we're talking about the climate changes that's been happening in our world, and especially here in our own country, Jamaica. And a lot of us might be thinking, what is so important about this COP28? Why do we have to talk about it? Is it important? What really about it is at stake? Well, we have to talk about it because it's something that we all should be aware about. And what is at stake? In a nutshell, the survival of the planet and all life on it. Vulnerable communities in the global south and ones who have contributed the least to the climate crisis are disproportionately suffering the effects of climate change. And what can we do in our own little circle, in our own little environment and community and homes? You know, with lives and livelihood being threatened, the need for the global north, which is historically responsible for the climate emergency, to act and make their fair contribution is bigger than ever. Political and world leaders need to step up and take some serious, meaningful climate action on adaptation, reducing greenhouse gas emissions, and phases out fossil fuels now. As the world feels the heat, let's get the politician at COP28 sweating. Join the movement. You know, we should all join this movement. So COP28, everything you need to know about it and climate changes. This month, we're talking about October 12, 2023. That month was, in my professional opinion, according to doctor and scientists, is absolutely a history-making time. This is not exactly the kind of sentence you'd expect from a qualified climate expert, a group that prefers the more austere language of hard facts. Yet, these days, climate scientists are struggling for words. Right climate scientist Catherine, she started replying to questions about the latest extremes weather event or reports about how dire things are with. She says, I am running out of original things to say. The climate crisis has been hard at work throughout 23. Wildfires in Argentina and Canada, flooding in India, Cameroon, and Libya, extreme heat across the US, Europe, and Asia, a cyclone and a tropical storm hitting Japan, the Philippines, the list goes on. If you were in tune to your local television, or you see shocking photos of extreme weather around the world, so COP 28 will take place, and which the effects of climate change are to quote. This year, COP is a significant milestone, the first assessment of how countries are faring against emissions cutting commitments. Made in Paris in 2015, known as the Paris Agreement, this process is known as the Global Stock Take. In case you're wondering, this Global Stock Take isn't going to tell us anything we don't already know. We are well off track to make the emission cuts need to stay within 1.5 degrees Celsius. So, a lot of person might be wondering, what is the difference between a rise of 1.5 to 2 and 3 degrees Celsius? Well, political leaders continue to back the fossil fuel industry, even as forest burns, the ocean heats up, permafrost melts, and livelihoods are lost. According to The Guardian, a diplomat from one developed country said it could not be much worse. Another said you could not make this stuff up. The timing couldn't be more crucial. Here's everything you need to know about the COP 28 and why we can afford for it to be flopped. So what is COP? COP is an annual climate summit convened by the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Changes, the UNFCCC, a climate body of the UN. COP stands for Conference of the Parties, meaning a gathering of countries, and in 2023 will be the 28th time that this taken place. Hence, COP 28. When will COP 28 take place? Well, COP 28 will be held from November 30 to December 12, 2023. Where will it take place? In Dubai, United Arab Emirates. Some have been skeptical of this, given that the UAE has a third biggest net zero busting plans for oil and gas expansion in the world. what really goes on at a COPE? Well, it depends. When the Paris Agreement was signed in 2015, it was agreed that every 5 year countries would return with more ambitious plans to reduce their greenhouse gas emission and tackle global warming. The COVID-19 pandemic causes COPE to be cancelled in 2020, making COPE 26 in Glasgow, Scotland, and in 2021 one of the big COPEs. The small COPEs held in the intervening year tend to focus on laying the groundwork for negotiations. COPEs usually open with a ceremony opening meeting. This is then followed by days of world leaders on stage talking about climate change, general concentrating either on what their countries intend to do about it or on the dire consequence they are experiencing. The remaining days have themes such as finance and energy, and see politicians and business leaders stepping up to announce various new promises, pledge, coalitions, and projects. But outside the doors, activists usually rage against superficial commitments and rally against political inactions. This time, there has been significant outrage after it was leaked to The Guardian that the UAE state oil company has been able to read emails to and from the COP28 Climate Summit office and was consulted on how to respond to a media inquiry. So we need to be, very, very in tune to what's happening in our countries and what's happening in the world. Because, we all know the purpose of water. And if you have been watching your local television station, and you can see that on the western side of Jamaica, where we're talking about places where tourists are, most likely to be seen. Those parts of the countries are tourist destination. We're talking about Montego Bay and Negril in Westmoreland. And there have been a lot of complaints about the lack of water. And in other side of the islands, we have getting a lot of complaints about bushfires. And persons, as a result, at the lack of water and bushfires, homes are being torched. And there's no water in the pipeline. So this is really serious. Fossil fuel are still destroying the planet. This treaty aims to change that. Now, under the landmark Paris Agreement at COP21 in 2015, nations committed to holding global heating to well below 2 degrees Celsius, above pre-industrial levels, and preferable limiting warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Through the deal is legally binding the commitments that countries have made to cut their emission are not, unless they are ensured into national or regional legislation. The attendants at COPE are dignitaries and heads of state and government, as well as tens of thousands of government delegates and representatives of civil society. Intergovernmental organization known as the NGOs and the media. There are 195 parties which are broadly organized in 5 regional groups, starting with Africa, Asia, Eastern Europe, Latin America and the Caribbean, and Western Europe and other states including Australia, Canada, and the US. At the cluster of COPE side events, climate change leaders, experts, and influencers gather to share their stories and solutions at panel discussion, exhibit, and cultural events, and more. So we're going to take a quick short break here on Free 88.9 FM. It's your boy DJ Rich. Don't you touch that dial. We'll be right back after these beautiful, beautiful songs.
I want you up me a little tight, I want you up me a little flame. And I want to see one is kinda ugly, so girl, you know you should love me, come love you, and that is true. Watch me now, love you like a fresh vegetable. So tell me if you love Tony Rebel. Me love you like a fresh vegetable. So tell me if you love Tony Rebel. Because you want you letter me roll me, you want me say down love lady too, and we are one go. And I love you girl, and me can't get over stress. So make me tell you something where you want to know. Love you like vegetable. So tell me if you love Tony Rebel. And me love you like a fresh vegetable. So tell me if you love Tony Rebel. Watch me now, so if it is no, I see you don't say so. But if it is yes, I want you say it the best. And never forget that you will never regret. Cause my love in Rasta no one the best like fresh vegetable. So tell me if you love the Tony Rebel. Love you like fresh vegetable. So tell me if you love Tony Rebel. Because I love you January, love you September. Down in a February, down in a October, and down in a March, down in a November, down in a April, right till December. You know them the time they you know a winter and the time is cold, and we need a lover, so you feel come little girl, come closer, and when you hug me tight, I want you hug me a little tighter. You want me fresh vegetable. And tell me if you love Tony Rebel. And you want my fresh vegetable. So tell me if you love Tony Rebel. Because you want to let me around me. You want me say down love lady too. We are gonna go on me. Control your life and can't get too much show. So make me tell you something what you want. You want me fresh vegetable. So tell me if you love Tony Rebel. And yes, you want me fresh vegetable. So tell me if you love Tony Rebel. Because me no want a girl to come broke me heart. Me no want a girl to come tear it up. And me no want in no relationship as a start. I know that I can, so now tell me say me can't. And wishful waits make one full want. I learned that from me uncle, I learned it from me aunt. So girl, I want me and you love to start. And together we must stay together and never part. I am a fresh vegetable. And tell me if you love Tony Rebel. Girl, you are my fresh vegetable. And you will tell me if you love Tony Rebel. It's me no because if it is a no, girl, I don't say so. But if it is a yes, I want you say it the best. And you feel, don't forget, you will never regret. I want to tell you this story live and direct. You are my fresh vegetable. So you feel tell me if you love Tony Rebel. You are my fresh vegetable. So you feel tell me if you love Tony Rebel. Hey, come and love you January, love you September. Me love you February, down in October, down in March.
This
and in
is Free
November, down in
88.9 FM, your free prison radio.
Some don't know what it feels like. Feel work from 6 in the morning straight up to midnight.
Working.
Midnight. I'm here to tell you. You think it's easy for barber stand up in the shop all day and nothing like.
This is Free 88.9 FM.
I am
Free Fire, baby.
Some don't know what it feels like.
Yo,
Feel work from
are
6
you
in the
kidding me?
morning straight up to midnight. tell you. You think it's easy if Baba stand up in the shop all day and nothing like one. You think it's easy if farmers stay up in the sun all day and blow the farm. It's no easy being a vendor nor a taxi man. No, you think it's easy if you stand up and watch your youth a cry for food for yam. But our feels it knows it. We are feeling from we little and a grow. Our feels it knows it. Sometimes we feel like we let go. Our feels it knows it. We are feeling from a little and a grow. Our feels it knows it. Only Jaja knows.
It not easy for ear just to open at the shop all day and nothing I want. It not easy for eagle and down in the marketplace and can't sell a can. Manicurists rent them both and the ladies now the done nails. No, street vendors now the boiling sun and them now make no see.
This is Free 88.9 FM, your free prison radio.
Free FM has made the dedication on behalf of this new generation. Free FM 88.9.
I'm going to tell you. You think it's easy for Baba stand up in the shop all day and nothing like one. You think it's easy for farmers stay up in the sun all day and blow the farm. It's no easy being a vendor nor a taxi man. No, you think it's easy if you stand up and watch your youth a cry for food for yam. But our feels it knows it. We are feeling from we little and a grow. Our feels it knows it. Sometimes we feel like we let go. Our feels it knows it. We are feeling from a little and a grow. Our feels it knows it. Only Jaja knows.
It not easy for ear just to open at the shop all day and nothing I want. It not easy for eagle and down in the marketplace and can't sell a can. Manicurists rent them both and the ladies now the done nails. No, street vendors now the boiling sun and them now make no sale.
So our feels it knows it. We are feeling from a little and a grow. Our feels it knows it. Sometimes we feel like we let go. Our feels it knows it. We are feeling from a little and a grow. Our feels it knows it.
Only Jaja knows. Yeah, yeah.
The way the system set up, no help poor people no way. But poor people not go give up. No, no matter how it's there, we still a hustle and a fighting. And when we no like it, still working on and on, from dusk till dawn. So our feels it knows it. We are feeling from a little and a grow. Our feels it knows it. Sometimes we feel like we let go. Our feels it knows it. We are feeling from a little and a grow. Our feels it knows it. Only Jaja knows. Yes, oh yes, I wanna get back home. Let me get my phone. I need to call my baby and find out if she's at.
This is Free 88.9 FM.
Let me get my phone. I need to call my baby and find out if she's at home. Cause I'm feeling right. I wanna be wrapped up in her arms tonight. Alright, I wanna lay you down, make sweet love on the ground. Cause I'm in the mood. Don't you say I'm rude. You say I'm rude. The rain is falling. My baby is all alone. Don't wanna waste no time. Wanna go home. Say the rain is falling. My baby is all alone. Don't wanna waste no time. Wanna go home.
Welcome Welcome back to Society Interaction on Free 88.9 FM. And for all our listeners, I'm your host, DJ Rich. And for all our listeners on the outside, we are also now available on YouTube at Free FM Radio. You can listen for all our latest interviews and program here. Now, as we were talking about before the break, the big topic, COP28, climate changes and all that's happened with climate changes. Now, when we talk about climate changes, we're talking about water, rain. A lot of countries are experiencing too much rain, and a lot of countries are experiencing little or no rain. We talk about the heat. Some countries are experiencing heat levels that are history making. We talk about water. Some countries are receiving water that is, oh my God, it's flooding, it's chaos. And not also that, we have earthquakes. For these past couple of years, it has been very scary here. Especially being incarcerated and an earthquake is happening. We also seen in our neighboring countries volcanic eruptions. So this is very, very serious. They say Jamaica is a land of wood and water, but yet we are experiencing shortages of water. Well, some person would not agree. Some person would say it's just the distribution of water that we're having problems with, because we got so much rivers here. You got countries that don't got rivers and they're surviving. For example, Dubai. There is not a river in Dubai. So, Rosebank oil field. What happened at COP27? After 2 weeks of negotiation, an historic pact was struck at COP27, in which developed countries, which are historically responsible for the climate emergency, agreed to provide climate finance to help poorer countries experiencing climate-related disasters, known as a loss and damage fund. I repeat, the funds that also persons and countries from the Caribbean, including Jamaica, that will be receiving from the COP, that money is known as loss and damage fund. The UK president of COP26 was more snatching about how the conference fared. I said in Glasgow that the pulse of 1.5 degree was weak. Unfortunately, it remains on life support. He said, what do we want to happen at COP28? An end to fossil fuel. That means support for the fossil fuel non-proliferation treaty from world leaders to ensure a just transition away from fossil fuel. An end to fossil fuel subsides a robust taxing of remaining fossil fuel production. Choke up the climate finance. Now isn't the time for baby steps. It's time to go big. Fund a just transition in all countries. Help countries adapt to climate change and fund loss and damage. and also protect climate activists and environmental defenders. Almost 2,000 environmental activists have been killed over the past decades. We need a human rights approach to all aspects of climate actions. What can global citizens do to help? Head to our climate action headquarters to see what actions you can take to make a difference. Whether there's a significant petition urging world leaders and business to do better on the climate crisis, sending emails to G20 ministers, or shooting off messages to European countries to support a green transition for all. Climate change is here. It is terrifying, and it is just the beginning. The Secretary General of the United Nations, Antonio, known for his clear-eyed and stark commentary on climate change, gave his warning at a briefing at the UN headquarters in New York in July. Indeed, the catastrophic effects of climate change are already taking place, impacting everything from economics to migration, health to education, life expectancy to global hunger, and they are terrified. Just this year, extreme weather events have devastated countries around the world, including India, the Philippines, Sudan, Malawi, and Rwanda, Brazil, and countless more. These events, fueled by human causes climate change, are costing lives, livelihood, and dollars. Yes, money. Because when there is no water and you can't do any farming, as a matter of fact, a lot of us are going to have to go back to our backyards and start doing some farming. Because yes, there will be a scarcity of food. We're going to have to start doing our own little farming in our own little backyards and in our own countries. Because the time we're going to come where we're going to have to stop depend on a lot of these countries. Because they're not going to have their food for their countries, for their people, and, sell it to other countries. So we got to look into that. These events, fueled by human-caused climate change, are costing lives, livelihoods, and dollars. In fact, they've cost 2 million lives and $4 trillion over the past 50 years, according to a report by the World Meteorological Organization, the WMO. Worse still, as Antonio warns, we ain't seen nothing yet. According to the latest Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change IPCC report, the average global temperature will rise by 2 to 4 degrees Celsius by the end of the century. Overshooting that mark even slightly means more severe heat waves, sea levels rising up to 10 meters, hunger and famine across wide swaths of the world, and 1 billion people fleeing climate change induced disasters. These aren't worst case scenarios. Their projection of what will happen should current trends continue. It's worth repeating for the people at the back, and it's the world most vulnerable who have least contributed to causing this crisis, who are being and will continue to be impacted the most. If all of this feels overwhelming, you're not alone. But if, like us and activists, campaigners, and global citizens around the world who will keep fighting until the very last moment, then keep reading, stay informed, and continue to take actions. Here are 11 facts that shows the true injustice and inequality of the climate crisis and the impacts it's having, and 6 that will keep the flame of hope alive, that we see an end to the climate catastrophe in our lifetime. The world's most vulnerable countries and people contributed the least to the climate crisis and yet are impacted the most by it. People from the global south are on the front lines of the climate crisis, yet they have done the least to cause it. Meanwhile, rich countries who are historically responsible for the crisis are failing to live up to their promises to cut emissions or to provide finance to help poor nations fight and adapt to climate change. For example, back in 2009, wealthy nation promised to deliver $100 billion a year in climate financing every year from 2020 to 2025. It's now 23-24, and that funding has yet to be delivered. At the opening of the Global Financial Pact Summit in Paris in June 23, economics commissioned by the COP28 presidency said that the $100 billion target is likely to be met this year. However, the estimating means nothing without being verified by the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, the OECD, an intergovernmental organization that works to shape policy. We'll believe it when we see it. Climate Finance Summit fails to deliver critical results for vulnerable countries. 2. This will be the coldest year for the rest of your life. 3 continents, the US, Europe, and China, are experiencing some of the hottest temperatures ever recorded. June 23 was the hottest on record, according to NASA analysts. July the 4th was the hottest day on Earth since record began. But the most frightening news of all, this will be the coldest summer for the rest of our lives, according to NASA scientist Peter Kalmas. We have already extracted more fossil fuel from the ground than we have the budget to burn. Project CO2 emission from all the fossil fuel producing infrastructure and currently exists, including under construction oil and gas fields and coal mines, would warm the world beyond the 1.5 degrees Celsius. A global climate target that aims to limit warming to said level by 2010 and 2100 in order to prevent the planet from slipping into further climate crisis. That's right. we've already got enough fossil fuel to blast through the limit deemed safe for humanity. Now, I want you to understand what I just said. World leaders are claiming that they have enough fossil oil to last until 2100. So they have enough fossil fuel to blast through the limit deemed safe for humanity. Yet, Enox is being allowed to invest billions in a new offshore project off the coast of Guyana. UK Prime Minister has been authorized more than 100 new North Sea license, and Canadian government gave the green light to the controversial $12 billion Day du Nord offshore oil project in 2022. Make it make sense. There could be 1.2 billion climate refugee by 2050. I repeat, there could be 1.5 billion climate refugee by 2050. Imagine losing your homes or livelihood due to flooding, going hungry because of a failed harvest or a severe drought, or being forced to flee your homes due to desertification, rising sea levels, or a lack of clean drinking water. There is the reality for millions of climate refugees worldwide, an average of more than 20 million each year. That's more. What's more is that things are projected to get worse, not better, with the estimate of 1.2 billion people displaced by climate change over the next 30 years, according to Institute of Economics and Peace. Climate change is making poverty worse. Poverty and climate change are linked, and we can't solve one without addressing the other. As global temperatures and sea levels rise, people living in poverty are the most severely impacted, and we all know that. We don't need a white man or a black man to come on the TV to tell you that. Poor people suffer the most. So whenever there's going to be a shortage of food, persons are going to raise the prices, as we can relate here being incarcerated. As global temperatures and sea level raises, people living in poverty are the most severely impacted. That's more and further 100 million people living in developing countries could be pushed into poverty by climate change by 2030. Why climate change and poverty are linked? The climate crisis is driving child marriage. Now, that might sound weird, but just picture this. There is a heat wave followed by a drought. Your cows have nothing to drink. Your crops fail. You got 6 months to feed and no income. The only option to survive is finding a rich husband for one of your daughters in exchange for a bride price. This is the reality for many families facing the greatest effects of climate change. Climate change is code red for girls at risk of child marriage. 12 million girls under 18 are married each year. I repeat, 12 million girls under 18 are married each year. And this is only going to increase with climate change growing impacts. Climate change impacts women more than men. Climate change is a planetary phenomenon that will impact everyone, but it affects are being shaped by pervasive and entrance gathered inequality. Heat waves, drought, rising sea levels, and extreme storms disproportionality affects women. That's because women are more likely to live in poverty than men, have less access to basic human rights like the ability to freely move and acquire land, and face systematic violence that escalates during period of instability. These factors and many more means that as climate change intensifies, women will struggle the most. And you know, on the topic of that, you know, the mans are to be the providers. The male is the dominant species and are supposed to be the providers at homes. A lot of males that are born in a low developing countries are faced with the reality of incarcerations, so leaving the female to fend for themselves and the child. Now, with all this craziness that's happening in the world, that sounds like a recipe for a disaster. I'll leave it at that. More than 90% of the world coral reef will die by 2050. And we can relate here in our own country if you were watching your local news television station, and even your radio in Free 88.9 FM. You know, the coral or the reef down in Montego Bay has been damaged drastically. The water has been rising, and the sea is taking over back the land. There's no other way to say it. The sea is taking back the land. Over the last 30 years, roughly half of the world is underwater forests have been turned to gray, lifeless, and biodiversity graveyards. Even if the world could halt global warming now, scientists still expect that more than 90% of the coral will die by 2050. But thankfully, scientists and organizations are working to save coral reef. Isn't that wonderful? The health of the planet depends on it. Coral reef supports a quarter of all marine species, as well as 500 million people around the world. So we're going to take a quick short break here on Free 88.9 FM, your prison radio, your best prison radio in the entire Jamaica. You know how it is. It's your boy DJ Rich on Free 88.9 FM here and Society Interaction. We take a quick short break. Don't you touch that dial. We'll be right back.
This is Free 88.9 FM.
Fostering
your free
rehabilitation,
prison radio.
Entertainment, education. Free FM has made the dedication on behalf of this new generation. Free FM 88.9.
Whoa! Oh yes, I wanna get back home. Let me get my phone. I need to call my baby and find out if she's at home. Cause I'm feeling right. I wanna be wrapped up in her arms tonight. Alright, I wanna lay you down, make sweet love on the ground. Cause I'm in the mood. Don't you say I'm rude. The rain is falling, my baby is all alone. Don't wanna waste no time, wanna go home. Say the rain is falling, my baby is all alone. Don't wanna waste no time, wanna go home. Are you feeling me? Cause baby girl, I'm feeling you. I can't wait no more. Oh, my love is overdue. It has taken over me. Can't get a hold of myself. Cause when I'm with you, I don't need nobody else. The rain is falling, my baby is all alone. Don't wanna waste no time, I wanna go home. Say the rain is falling, my baby is all alone. Hey, this is your main Fergus standing on the floor.
Fostering rehabilitation, entertainment, education. Free FM has made the dedication on behalf of this new generation. Free FM,
And my girlfriend is having a baby. Hey, this is your main Fergus standing on the floor. Represent the poor, for the poor. Hey, listen this, listen this. There ain't no money in my pockets and bills to pay, and my girlfriend is having a baby. Hard times, still me not do no crime. Alright, it's like the sun doesn't shine for me no more. Poverty's knocking on my door, but I'm more life for sure. No soul me not go poor, cause more I live my life. Take care of my mother, and my picnic and my wife. Live my life. Now run them, no fear me, no inna the hype. More I live my life. Take care of my mother, and my picnic and my wife. Live my life. I just wanna live my life. Well, I'm working from 9 to 5, hustling hard just to stay alive. It's hard, but me still I try. Now sit down, depend on no guy. Alright, my friend come link me early in the morning. I tell me time rough and I go bust some too can. But I know that me depend. No, nobody give me no weapon. Cause more I live me life. Take care of my mother and my picnic and my wife. Live me life. Now run them, no fear me, no inna the hype. More I live me life. Take care of my mother and my picnic and my wife. Live me life. You know more I live me life. Me standing tall and I'm bound for a dime. Now all the faith and wait for my time. Me not follow no bad company. Me still I look the food for my family. I'm in the streets from 9 to 5, hustling hard just to stay alive. It's hard, but me still I try. Nothing don't depend on no guy. Cause more I live my life. Take care of my mother and my picnic and my wife. Live my life. Now run them, no fear me, no inna the hype. More I live my life.
This
Take care of
is
my
free
mother and my picnic and my wife.
88.9 FM. You're free this weekend.